TikTok. There's a TikTok that's going on. What's going on, Chris? There's a TikTok that's going around that's showing. I also saw it on Instagram. It's showing like people who are over 40, and it's like this. It's like this crunching sound, like their joints like crunching, and if you over 40, then you know what I mean. If you over 40, all that kind of stuff, then your joints supposed to be like cracking and all of that shit. I'm just like, no, that ain't my life. I don't know what kind of plus 40 lifestyle y'all got going, but baby, I don't have that. So I'm just like, shit, let me share what I do so maybe I can help somebody and be better in their life, because it ain't no way I'm going to live my life 40 plus and beyond. I don't care if I'm 75. I'm not living my life to be barely able to touch my toes and squat down and do my Tai Chi and yoga and exercise and move. Your body does what you train it to do. If you laid up all day, or you sit behind a computer, or you sit behind a desk majority of the day, and you don't do what you're supposed to do, then, shit gonna happen. So for those who come in later, those who are here now, that's what we're going to be talking about for the next few days. I'll be popping in mainly around this time, because this is a good time for me, around about noon, around about lunchtime. I'm pretty free. Girl, yes, laugh, because people say, this is what you got to look forward to. No, it's not. Don't let them folks lie to you. Just like I ain't got no gray hair. You don't look forward to it because you don't have to have it. Gray hair shows, I told you all before, gray hair shows that you're deficient in minerals. So if you have gray hair, it's showing that you're deficient in minerals. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Brianna. You don't have to have gray hair. It's not, oh, I'm over 30, so I'm supposed to have gray hair. I'm 55, so I'm supposed to have gray hair. No, you're not. They're showing a mineral deficiency, and your body is pulling from different areas. So we're going to get into what you need to do for those who are 40 plus, those who creeping up on 40, those who, in their 30s and you starting to have joint issues. You should not. Nobody should. I don't. But you have to, train your body. You have to do those things that are necessary in order for that not to happen. And so it's not like, some people say, hey, it's genetics, and people like to throw everything on genetics. And the main people that say it's genetics don't even know their blood type. And I'm just saying, they'll be like, oh, it's genetics, and da. Okay, so what's your blood type? They don't know their blood type. So if you don't know your blood type, that's your ground, that's your basis. Hey, John, if you don't know your blood type, then how can you say anything is genetics when you don't even know your genetics? Baby, you need to know your blood type. You need to know what you need to eat and do in order for you not to have issues. So when we are having, no matter what the age is, when we're having some type of joint pain or issues or shoulder, knee, back, we do have wear and tear that occurs over the years. We have that. That's just inevitable. But there are certain things that we can do to start to reverse the aging process. I'm going to get into the photobiomodulation later on this week. I'll probably talk about that Thursday or Friday. But the photobiomodulation, I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm going to ease you all into that part and what that is. And those are for people who have extreme issues. They may have MS. They may have some type of autoimmune disease. And the photobiomodulation is going to help them. They are patches that works with the light energy that's in your body, the energy that you already have, that it activates your body to produce different hormones in order for it to start to regress the aging process, not progress it, but it regresses the aging process. Hey, Sammy, how you doing? So that is what we really, really want to look into. But the photobiomodulation, I'll talk about that probably Thursday. What's that, Tuesday? Yeah. So I'll talk about that Thursday or Friday. But today, what we want to talk about, what a lot of people don't do, are stretching. And I'm talking about corrective stretching. So everybody probably like, yeah, I know I'm supposed to stretch. I know, yeah, I'm supposed to, yeah, get up in the morning. But we're talking about corrective stretching. So a lot of people don't know how to properly stretch. So I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for asking. A lot of people don't know how to correctly stretch. And I didn't just start stretching once I turned 40. I didn't just start stretching once I turned 30. I've been stretching, and for me, it started when I started ballet when I was 3 years old. You have to stretch and dance. You're going to have to stretch. And I just continue to do it all in my life. But I know a lot of people ain't like me, and that's cool. That's cool. We start where we are. Ain't nothing like starting where you are and moving on that and doing what you need to do to regress the aging process. We're going to bring it back. Yes, corrective stretching. Corrective stretching. I have my notes here, y'all, so I'm going to make sure that I go through everything and how I want to talk about it to give you all the pieces. Hey, Black Josie, to give you all the pieces of what you need to do. And we're going to talk about all week. I'm going to have different things that I'm talking about to help you go back to reverse the aging process. Now, I talked about it earlier. Nobody needs should be crunching when you bend over. You should be like, oh, my back. And you shouldn't get out the bed and be like, oh, God, my knees on my back. Or you slow doing this, getting out the bed and all of that. That ain't my life. That's not over 40 life. That's day life. Let that be day life. Let that be dumb. That's dumb over there. Also, I want you all, before I go into it, if you haven't already, join my text alerts. I'm sending out, I'm starting back. I started this a few years ago, but I've started back with the Ask Diva. So you can text 81010, Ask Diva, AskDiva. So that's going to be in your message. So you're going to text Ask Diva to 81010. So if any of this information hits home, you like it, it works for you, you want more information, you want more health tips, you want some giveaways that I do, you want to be the first to know about different things and challenges that I offer, and you want it, you like, hey, hell, this helped me, this helped my family, whatever's in this little girl brain over here, this little woman brain, I want to pull it out and be able to use it in my life and let me be a resource to you. Then text Ask Diva to 81010. And if somebody that's here, if you can type it, I'll pin it so people can be able to do that. AskDiva. So anyway, that's to 81010. So we're going to talk about corrective stretching. So most people normally, you'll wake up, the body's normal reaction. And this is how you know you need to do this, is when you first wake up. What's the first thing that you do when you wake up? You're going to stretch, and you're also going to yawn. Two key important factors that the body is doing right there that we usually don't pay a lot of attention to. One thing, your body is waking itself up. It wants to stretch. It wants to move and utilize those muscles. Two, oxygen. Okay, so when we're stretching, Ask Diva 810. Don't take out the 2. Take out the number 2. It's just Ask Diva, and they're sending it to 8100. So just take out the number 2. Thank you, Brianna. So the two important things that your body is doing, you are stretching, you're opening up the chest, you're stretching the back, the spine, okay? Key point, from the coccyx or the perineum, that's COCCYX, the coccyx or the perineum. That's that in-between space between your genital area and your anus. That's your perineum, your coccyx, that tailbone at the very base of the spine. You're opening, you're stretching, and you're opening up the spine. You're starting to get blood flow within that area. I tell people the river of life in the body is the blood. The key component of life in our body is our spine for our mobility. When their spine is out of whack, if you hurt anything that has to do with this lumbar, this area, this spine, you're gonna be in some really issues. You're gonna have some real issues. You're gonna be in real pain. So we want to make sure, and let me type it in here. Ask DIVA, and you're gonna send it to 81010. There you go. Ask Diva to 81010. That's where you want to yeah. So like when you get your phone and just say you're getting ready to text somebody, you put their phone number in first, right? So that's the 81010, and the message is going to be Ask Diva. Okay, and that way you can opt in to any type of information, health, fitness, food. I'm talking about last week, I talked about the Chinese clock, the circadian rhythms of the circadian clock. So we talked about that, what we're supposed to be doing at each hour of the day. I'm going to also go into, at the end of this message, I'm going to talk to you about the summer solstice, what foods we need to be eating for the summer, and also what organ we're focusing on and what foods you should eat to help cool you off. You should not be doing ice and cold foods, but we'll get into that later. Going back to corrective stretching. So I'm looking at, how many did I write down? 4. We're looking at 4 different ways that we actually stretch. The first one is active stretching. So when we do active stretching, most of you all, and I do this in Tai Chi, one of the ways that I do active stretching is I have my participant raise their arms up, and then they'll twist. You'll twist here and hold it. You're going to hold the pose for about 30 seconds. Hello, Joanne. You're going to hold that pose for 30 seconds. That's your active stretching. You're holding a pose. Even if you, and that's the particular muscle group that you're going to work on. Sometimes athletes do that when you see them cross their legs over, or you cross your arm over, you're holding it. That's active stretching. You're actually targeting a particular muscle group and you're holding it. I enjoy holding and twisting here because in traditional Chinese medicine, especially in Tai Chi, we're focusing on the 5 major organs. So we're looking at the heart, the stomach, the kidneys, the liver, and the lungs. So we're looking at those 5 major organs. When you're holding and you're twisting, we know our liver, our gallbladder is on the right side of our body. We're twisting here, but our stomach, spleen, and pancreas is also on the left side. So we're really working both when we hold and twist. We're helping kind of detox those organs. We take a breath in here, and then we twist, exhale. What's also happening, like I told you all before, when you first wake up, you're stretching, you're working the spine. When you're twisting here, you're also working the spine. Okay? You're getting in that mobility as you hold. Okay? Not just going back and forth and waking up, stretching, then moving on with your day, but actively corrective stretching. Holding that with this active stretching, you're holding that movement over here to the side. So it really can get the blood flow and awakening. And it's almost like you're twisting and you're turning those organs in different ways. And also those joints, and you're holding it. So your back shouldn't pop when you twist and reach and do different things if you do this consistently. All right. Next, we're going to talk about passive stretching. Passive stretching, and we're talking about corrective stretching, people. Corrective stretching. If you just joined in, these are ways that we are reversing the aging process. And we're going to be going through this all week, that I have different pointers we're going to talk about. So y'all don't have knee issues, joint issues, or you say, hey, I'm back in the gym. Now that I'm back in the gym, my knees hurt. I'm back in the gym and I'm getting cramps in my stomach when I do crunches. Or I'm back in the gym and I done hurt my lower back and now I can't move. I can't get out the bed. Should not happen if you're doing these corrective stretching. So we just talked about active. We're going into passive. Now this is for balance and flexibility. These are the types of movements that you want to do just for balance and flexibility. One of the ones that I enjoy doing for flexibility is your butterfly. If you all aren't familiar with butterfly, please Google it. You sit with your feet together and it opens up your hips. Now, we talked about the coccyx and the perineum that sits in between your genitals and your anus at the base of the spine. Hey, Spearman, that sits at the base of the spine. Now, when you're opening up your hips here, you're keeping issues from happening in the hip joints, okay, in your pelvic region. So if you end up injuring here, I've had an injury here in my 20s from not properly stretching in this area. And once it happened, I said, I'll never do it again. I think I was like 27, 28 years old, and I didn't stretch. I was just going straight in and lifting. I was just going straight in and lift. That's why I tell people it has no age on aches and pains. It's just you knowing what you need to do in order for you to not have aches and pains and issues. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with age. You decide what you want to do and how you want to live your life depending upon the age you want. You don't have to live with aches and pains, okay? So sitting in butterfly position, I'm going to try to do it here. Hopefully you all can see me, Instagram. So my feet are together and I'm dropping my knees down. You can also take your elbows, press those knees down. So now not only do you have an active stretch, you have a passive stretch. You're doing two. You're combining passive stretching and active stretching at the same time. This increases your flexibility. It also is going to help with balance because you're working on this hip joints. So when you go to move and do different things, most of the time it's coming from the hips. It's coming from the base of the spine in order to keep you balanced and awake. Okay, so we just talked about passive stretching. Okay, now the next one I have down here is dynamic stretching. That is movements where you're going past, or stretching, I would say, where you're holding it and you can go past the mobility of your Diva, past the mobility of that particular muscle group. One of the ones that I like to do is the runner's lunge or the runner stretch, where you have one knee down, one leg up, and you're on the ground and you're pushing, you thrust your hips forward. Now, when you're thrusting your hips forward, you're putting more, and I don't know if y'all can see me, but I'm going to try to do it here. So one knee down, the other is here, and you're pushing your hips forward, okay? But you don't want the knee to go past that toe. So you would have the feet down more, but you're pushing the hips forward and you're holding it here. So you'll feel that stretch through your quads. You'll feel it in your hips. You'll feel it in your glutes, the lower back, all of that. And if you can curl forward and hold it, that's even better. So those of y'all who just came in, we're talking about corrective stretching to help us reverse the aging process. Oh, good. Strengthening his back. Good deal. You want to go and do, you really want to do. Hey, Kimmy. Hey, Mikhail Butler. How y'all doing? You really want to make sure if you're working on back issues, like I tell people, when I do Tai Chi and when I do Qigong and Tai Chi and those movements, because everybody can't do yoga. Okay, I've done yoga for over 20 years, but that may not be for everybody. And most of the people that I deal with when I teach Tai Chi are 65 to 95 years old. And I'm teaching you all this and I'm sharing this because I've had women over 80 years old come back to me and say they're not using their cane anymore. they don't have to walk with the cane, that the stretches and the exercises that we've been doing in Qigong and Tai Chi has helped them strengthen their back. So again, I'm gonna go back over the first ones. What you want to do with your active stretching. You're gonna hold a pose. So you stretch just like this one and you twist. Now this is good for people with lower back issue. Twist and hold. You want to hold it for 30 seconds and focusing on the breath. That's similar to what your body wants to do anyway when it first wake up in the morning. Like I said, when you first wake up, you yawning, you're taking in oxygen. You're helping to filter out the blood. You're getting oxygen to the brain. And then you're twisting and opening up the back. All right, so you're arching that back. He said one more time for those who came in. Y'all gonna have to go back. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post it in the I'm gonna post this live. I'm gonna save it. Next, if you can, we talked about the dynamic stretching. That's going beyond the limits of the actual muscle group, just like the runner's lunge. I showed you all the runner's lunge. Please Google the runner's lunge. Also, butterfly. For whoever is listening in that has back issues, when you do the butterfly, what you want to do is lean forward. So I showed you all the butterfly before. Your feet are together. You take your elbows, you press your knees down. Now, what you want to do, and my desk is in the way, I can't. You want to try to bring your head to your heels. Now, even if you can't, to your feet, even if you can only go right here, that's fine. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, try to go down a little bit further. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, try to go back down a little bit further, okay? So each time you inhale and then you exhale, bending down, you're working that spine to release any type of tension and tightness that's going on in your back that's causing the back issues. So with the active pose stretching, holding these poses, along with that dynamic, is going to help you, all right? Next, PNF stretching. You all do. Who knows what PNF stretching is? Give me a heart if you know what PNF stretching is. If you're a physical therapist or you're a nurse, some of y'all know what PNF stretching is. But I guarantee you that even though you're saying that you may not know what PNF stretching is, you probably had it before. And PNF stretching is an acronym, and I forget it. Proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. And that's just a fancy word for assisted stretching. Okay. So if you've ever had somebody to assist you in your stretching, I like to do this with people I had a friend who injured his left knee. And for about 3 or 4 months, I intentionally did assisted stretching on that knee. And that was in 2017, and it's 2022, and still to this day, he tells me he still has no issues with his knee because it was assisted. It helps to push it past the limits that you can do on your own. And then you're actually having somebody lean you back, push your leg back and forth, opening up your hips. Even the guy who has lower back issues, sitting in butterfly position, you can have somebody behind you and slightly nudge you forward to bring your head to your feet to get you an even better stretch. Hey, Ladidi, how are you? So I'm gonna go back over again for those who I'm gonna go back over really quick of what I'm talking about. And also, if you missed it, I am going to save this live and repost it so you all can watch it. But make sure you text to get in on more information that I'm sharing throughout the week on reversing the aging process. You're going to text to 81010, and in the message, I have it pinned, you're going to put Ask Diva, and you'll be opted in. I have over 100 some people who have opted in to the service to receive free information from me. Oh, my lawn man is here, yes. To receive free information from me, and when I'm giving away things or I'm just giving free info and recipes and all of that, you have access to receive it first. So what we've talked about today, and I'll be talking about it the rest of the week, is how to reverse the aging process. A lot of people, it's been a viral on TikTok and Instagram of people saying, this is my body at the age of 40 or over 40. Baby, I'll be 42 in a couple of days, and my body does not crunch when I wake up. My body does not, and knees cracking and back cracking and all of that. No, it don't happen. But I'm intentional about how I take care of my body. We'll get into the food later because a lot of you all know about the food. We'll talk about that later on this week. A lot of you all know you ain't eating right. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about food because a lot of you all know you grown. If you're watching me, you grown. And you know you're not supposed to be eating what you eat. So me going into food and spending a lot of time on food is senseless for a lot of people. So that's why I like to talk about things that you may not just get from social media or watching a TikTok, and corrective stretching is one of those. If you're not familiar with corrective stretching, I went through 4 of them. Active stretching. Active stretching is holding and twisting and holding the pose of whatever you're holding for 30 seconds, okay? Then what did I talk about next? Passive stretching. That's for balance and flexibility. I showed you all how to do the, what did I do? Oh, the runner's lunge. We did that. We also did the butterfly, holding the butterfly. We did that for dynamic stretching as well. And then PNF. Also suggest PNF that's assisted. So if you have a friend, if you have a spouse or someone that can help you and assist you in your stretching, or if you go to massage therapist or a physical therapist. Here in Memphis, we have a place called the Stretch Zone. I went there once. It wasn't beneficial for me because I'm very flexible and I've been stretching. But I do suggest people who don't stretch, you have cracks and issues and aches and pains with your back, your neck, your shoulders. You have little to no mobility in your hips and your back. If you have back pain every day, go to the Stretch Zone. I know there's one in Germantown. That's the one I went to. I think it may be the only one. Do some of the stretches I showed you today, especially when you first wake up and before you go to bed at night. You got to be very intentional about it. Okay. Hello. Yes. You have to be very intentional about those, the active, dynamic, and the passive stretching. You got to be very intentional about those 3. If you just came in, you missed those 3. I gave examples of each one. Incorporate that. All right. And go to the Stretch Zone so you can get the PNF stretching, because you'll need that assistance in helping you reach the flexibility, because the less flexible you are, the more you're prone to what? Hurting yourself, injury, issues, pain. And of course, we know it's hot outside. Wherever you are, I think the other day here was 109. Well, it'll be good, even though people don't like to be in the heat, although I do, because I know the benefits of vitamin D. You don't have to be out there long. Get you a mat. If you have front yard or a balcony or wherever, get you a mat, stretch outside for 10 minutes in the sun to get in the vitamin D. Okay? You can put on some sunscreen, but it's good to be outside to get that heat into the joints, to get the sun rays, the vitamin D from the sun into your joints. And that's going to help aid in doing the passive, the active, and the dynamic stretching. And if you have someone to help you to do the PNF stretching outside, that's going to be even better, because that heat helps warms the body, so you're not working with stiff joints where you've been sitting all day. Okay? So yeah, that's the 3 things. 4, I'm sorry. Ward Mingo, how are you doing? Those are 4 stretches. Corrective stretching is what we've been talking about. Those are 4 types of corrective stretching that you need to start now. Now, some people talk about myofascial release. And most corrective exercise specialists don't really like to use the foam roller. We don't suggest the foam roller because you're just pushing that back in and out unless you're going in one location. I prefer you doing the myofascial release on your own, where you're just pushing it. Even with lower back pain, if you have lower back pain, you may want to do kidney taps. So you'll take the back of your hand and you'll just tap up and down that back, getting that blood flow. And I do this as well with my Qigong clients, where I'm just going up and down. Okay, you're going up and down that back. And that helps to break up some issues as well, that you may have some tightness and stiffness in your lower back or your back area. Along with doing all this corrective stretching, is always good coupling it with massage. I always say if you can get a good massage to help the myofascial release, that's going to be the best thing to do rather than the foam roller. I really don't suggest the foam roller. Okay. So now we've got all that out the way, y'all, which is good. We're going into summer. Miss Fitness Diva is getting ready to give you some key pointers, y'all. So if you don't have one already, if you haven't been taking notes, you want to take notes now. This is the time that you want to take some notes. I'm drinking my Dong Quai and detox tea. For you all who wasn't present last week, I now have my very own detox tea available on MissFitnessDiva.com. But anyway, if you don't have a pen and paper, right now is the time you want to grab some pen and paper to get some information on what you need to do moving forward as we are gradually entering into the summer solstice. So some people may not know what the summer solstice is. And that's when we're going into summer. That's all it is. And it's based on the equator. And we're having more sun than dark. More light than dark. Just like in the winter solstice, we have more dark, more nighttime than lighttime. And then it starts to balance itself out as we get to the fall equinox. Okay, so what we're doing, we're getting ready to get into summertime. June the 21st is when we're going to hit the summer solstice. We're going to have a lot of sunshine. It's going to be a lot of hot days ahead of us. Okay, what we want to do is prep our body. You all should have listened. I think my page got hacked, so sorry. But I was doing a spring detox March the 20th. I had people do a spring detox. Now we're doing a summer prep for the summer solstice. I'm getting ready to give you the details on how to prep your body for the summer. People just don't walk into seasons. In traditional Chinese medicine, we work with the earth. We work with it in order for us to bring more harmony and balance to the body. So when you see yourself getting out of balance, or you're not getting sleep at night, you're up and down, or you're thirsty in the middle of the night, you got to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, or you have insomnia, or you're up between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. and you should be asleep, because last week we talked about that's when your liver, your gallbladder, and your lungs are rejuvenating themselves. So if you're up between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m., one of those organs are out of balance, or maybe all of them. So bringing yourself back into balance, we're going to look into some key indicators. Hey, Stormy Who? Some key indicators and organs that we target in the summer. So summertime, and before I go into summertime, traditional Chinese medicine, I stress this for you all, because in our community, we don't know these things and people perish for lack of knowledge. I'm just going to put that out there. So I'm sharing with you all some real heavy, knowledgeable information that you need to start implementing. That's why I say get your pen and paper. Each season correlates to an organ, right? Each organ correlates to an element, right? In the springtime, we were focusing on our liver and our gallbladder, all right? We're coming out of the spring, we're going into the summer. Summer is hot. Summer is fiery. it correlates to the organ of the heart. The element that is represented through the summertime is going to be fire. Of course, it's hot, it's heart, it's fire. Hi, by Chris Keys. So if it's hot outside, it's summertime, correlate to the organ of the heart, correlating in traditional Chinese medicine, correlate to the element of fire. Then we are looking at what foods we need to eat in order to cool our systems off, because we don't want to overwork or overheat our body. If you go back on my page and look up when I talked about different organs, remember I talked about traditional Chinese medicine, I talked about the triple burner. If you are familiar with the triple burner, go back, look into my post and see where I talked about the different parts of the body in traditional Chinese medicine. We talked about the triple burner. So you don't want to burn yourself out with eating. You want to avoid. This is what you want to avoid. You want to avoid dry foods and you want to avoid spicy foods. We don't eat that in abundance in the summertime. Okay, you don't want to do a lot of that in the summertime because you're going to burn your body out. It's already hot outside. Why would you eat something that is going to burn you up and internally heat you up even more? So you back away from that. 2, I know it's pushed in the summertime with commercials and all the media is for people to have ice cream and popsicles. You don't want to eat extreme cold foods in the summertime, such as ice cream. Well, why, Miss Fever? Why can't I have ice cream? It's cold. I want to cool my body up. Cold foods. You're shocking the body. First of all, no matter if it's 110 degrees outside, 120 or 55 degrees outside, or 30. Internally, we are 98.6 degrees. We have to stay warm. It's our internal heating mechanism, because when we eat our raw fruits and vegetables, which we should be, our internal mechanism is going to heat up those foods. Remember, I talked to y'all last week about the hydrochloric acid and going into the different organs and breaking these down. So, hey, Be Purposely Fit, Melinda. So we talked about this on how the body has to be 98.6 degrees and why it needs to be 98.6 degrees. So it heats it up. You don't want to exacerbate the issue. You want to start to do things that cools the body off. You don't want to do cold foods because it slows down the digestive process. Okay, say it with me. It slows down the digestive process. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. How you doing? I just, if you can, go back and look at the video, Melinda. I just showed them the 4 corrective stretches that you need to do: the active, the passive, the dynamic, and the PNF stretching that you need to add to your daily routine. If you can do PNF stretching, it'll be tremendous. It'll help whatever issues you have going on. And then, of course, later on in the week, I'm going to talk about cupping acupuncture TENS units, so you all can know more about how that actually heals the body and helps with any pain and issues. We're definitely going to talk about that. But I showed some stretches before you all came. Now I'm talking about the summertime. So let me go back into that. You don't want to eat summer solstice, June the 21st. Prior to coming into June the 1st, usually a week before, which it will start this weekend, or you can start now if you want to, you do a cleanse, you do a fasting. Our bodies need to fast anyway, because when we fast, when we eat, I'll start there. When we're eating, we're actually having the body work. It works more, right? Because it has to break food down. It got to separate nutrients. It got to think about what minerals it needs. You got to think about what it needs to eliminate, how much hydrochloric acid it needs, how much less hydrochloric acid it needs, how much sugar is this, releasing glucose, doing all this. The body is constantly doing things, and then it has to have blood flow. So it's constantly working. When you fast, you're slowing everything down. And we talked about the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. So when the body slows down, you allow your body to aid in its own healing because it doesn't have to work so much. Aren't you more productive when you're not working as hard? Aren't you more clear? Don't you have more clarity when you're not constantly working and somebody got you doing a lot of different things? Don't you have more clarity of thought and in mind? The body is the same way. Fasting. So if you say, hey, I'm on medications, Miss Fitness Diva, it's hard for me to fast because I have to take medications. Okay. Well, then what you need to look into, if you're on medications, first we need to be trying to get off of them, because that's not for us, it's a crutch. It's not for us to stay on medications. And then secondly, what you want to do is stay with your raw food, stay with your raw fruits and vegetables during your fasting time, because that's going to help you. So a week before the summer solstice starts on the 21st, we fast. You can fast for 24 hours. You can fast for 15 hours, 72, 48, whatever you can do, whatever is best for you. I don't know your situation. I don't know who you are. Normally, we'll go for at least 3 to 5 days in the fasting. And you can do a liquid fast. You can do a fruit fast. You can do a juice fast. You can do a smoothie fast, whatever works for you. But I'm going to tell you the key foods that you need to be eating during this fast. Like I told you all before, you should have a pen and paper so you can write these down. Okay, so let's go back to the organ that's correlated with the summer is the heart. The element that's correlated with the heart is fire. The taste, each organ and season also has a taste. So the taste for this particular season is bitter. So you want to have things like eating. These are the fruits and foods you need to go and eat. Kiwi, lemon, watermelon, cucumber, tomato, spinach. Okay, what else do I have on my list? That was the one I know offhand. Cilantro, oranges, pear, pineapple, tangerine. Okay, and mint, and apple. I didn't put apple in there. I don't think I told y'all apple. So that is what you all need to have more of an abundance of eating during your fast. So say you like, hey, I can go a day. You make it go 24 hours. Let's start low. Let's start one day. One day, if you're really good and you're dedicated to improving your health, you can do mono meals. Okay? And if you don't know what mono mealing is, that's eating one particular food throughout the entire time you're on that fast. So if you say, hey, I'll mono meal with pineapple, you can't have pineapple and oranges and pears and watermelon. You're just doing pineapple. Mono means one. Okay, you're only doing pineapple. If you say, hey, I'll do watermelon, I love watermelon, get you watermelon with seeds. Make sure it has seeds, and you're gonna eat watermelon the whole 24 hours. You can juice the watermelon. You can eat the watermelon. You can just, as long as it's watermelon, juiced, or eat it as just the plain fruit that it is. But you're just going to do mono mealing. It's just that one meal. Those are for those people who want to see extreme results. Maybe you want to lose some weight. Maybe you need to detox your system because you're on medication. Maybe you're trying to get off of medication. You need to lower your blood pressure. Maybe you're diabetic and you're trying to get off of diabetic pills. I don't know your situation. Whatever your life is. Maybe you break it out. Maybe you have eczema. Maybe, I don't know. But whatever it is, I highly suggest and I urge you to mono meal if that's the case. Mono meal was something, and for some people, pineapple may break them out. If that's your case, go to watermelon. If that's the case, go to oranges or pears. If that's too acidic, then do the kiwi. Okay? Do something that works for you. And for those who like a little, you want to switch it up, you just don't like that. I did one of the reels, I was talking about the different juices that I made last week, and one of them was the watermelon cucumber. So go back and look at the watermelon and cucumber, because also for my men that's out there, if you're starting to age or have issues with being sexually active, erectile dysfunction, the watermelon cucumber blend is going to be good for you. Okay, so that's good for those people as well. But you can do spinach. You can do cucumbers. You can make your salad. All of these, you can do the mandarin oranges or tangerines. You can create a salad with all this on there. And that way you're still staying in the flow and the connection with earth, because these are the foods, these are the fruits, vegetables that correlate with the heart organ. The heart organ correlates with the fire element, and the fire element is in correlation with the summer, with the season of summer. So all of this is in alignment with the rotation of the earth. So you can't be out of alignment and think you just want to eat what you want to eat and do what you want to do in order to bring about high levels of health. Meaning, I don't want to be on pills. I don't want to have aches and pains in my body. I'm tired of my joints hurting when I wake up. I'm tired of not being able to perform sexually with my mate. I'm tired of having headaches throughout the day. I'm tired of my protruding stomach. If you fall in these categories, I'm giving you things you need to start doing now that will help heal your body. And not only heal your body, it's going to give you more clarity of thought. Okay? It's going to calm the body down, give you more clarity of thought. And you're going to have more energy. Some of us may be low energy and fatigued during this time. You're like, I don't know why I'm so tired. I don't know why I have no energy. Well, let's go back and look at, are you in the rhythm of what the earth cycle is? Okay? Now, cooling combos. You say, hey, okay, Miss Fitness Diva, you told me I can't have no ice cream. You told me I can't have no ice and can't eat no popsicles and stuff like that. That's not good. Yeah, because it's going to slow. Just know, if you do those things, I'm not saying just don't do anything. I'm saying understand when you do that, you're slowing down your digestive process. And guess what? If we're slowing down the digestive process, I'm sorry, my lawnmower man is here. If you're slowing that down, you can cause some bloating. You can cause some overabundance of hydrochloric acid or too little, where it's not breaking it down properly because it can't heat it up to break it down. So you may end up having some flatulence, gas, right? Constipation. So you're going to have some GI tract issues. Just know if you decide to do that, you're going to have some digestive gastrointestinal tract issues. Now, some cooling combos, chrysanthemum, okay, and mint. You can do your chrysanthemum and mint tea. And if you really want to add in another key element into this, you can add honeysuckle and you can make you a tea. It's a cooling element. Mint is cooling. Chrysanthemum is a cooling agent. And you create a combo with the mint and the chrysanthemum to cool the body down. You also can do green tea. Green tea is excellent with cooling the body system down, and it also aids in helping to detox and cleanse the liver too with the green tea. So these are that is your cooling combo. And you'll notice, and this is even good for my ladies who may be menopausal or premenopausal, and you're hot a lot, and your hormones are off balance. Remember last week I told you all about the adaptogens, that you all need to do the adaptogens. If you don't have access and you haven't got any adaptogens yet, then this is good too. Chrysanthemum and mint is a cooling agent. Drinking some green tea, relaxing the body as a cooling agent. And it also is the green tea is also going to help detox and cleanse out the liver. Okay, so again, the foods that we want to avoid. Coffee. Okay, I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but y'all can't go a day without drinking about 2 or 3 cups of coffee at work. Coffee, you should not be drinking coffee during the summer solstice or being in the summer season at all. You should not be drinking a lot of coffee. If you drink a cup of coffee, 4 ounces of cup of coffee, once or twice a week if you have to, and just leave it alone. If you're not a coffee person, just let it go completely. All right, just let coffee go. Of course, I already talked to you all about the spicy foods and the ice cream and the cold ice and all that. Of course, we talked about that last week. Ladies, you should not be eating ice if you have an ice craving. That's we talked about that. You shouldn't be eating ice. That means that you have a deficiency. More times than not, you're anemic. And I always forget it. I forgot it last week. I always forget the name. I don't know why. I think it's Pekka. I forget it every time. Y'all know why I forget it. But anyway, we've went over your 4 corrective stretching: active, dynamic. Hey, Cameron. Active stretching, dynamic stretching, passive stretching, PNF stretching, which is the assisted stretching that you can go to Stretch Zone, or if you have a spouse or a mate or a friend that can help you stretch, that's going to be key components. That is what you want to do first to help aid in reversing the aging process. I told you I'm going to talk about photobiomodulation. We're going to talk about photobiomodulation later on this week, and that's going to be cooling agent is spelled Proceptum. What you mean? Hey, Ron. Hey, Ronell. Chrysanthemum. Are you talking about the chrysanthemum? You do the mint with the chrysanthemum. That's the cooling combo. That's your cooling combo. Okay. And then we talked about the foods to avoid during the summer solstice, the foods that you need to incorporate during the summer solstice. Remember, you want to either fast for 24 to 72 hours during this time, which you can start now. Summer solstice is the 21st. We go with the rhythm of the clock in traditional Chinese medicine, and we make sure that in the summertime, we're focusing on the heart. The heart focuses on the fire element. The fire element makes sure that you have foods that are bitter in taste, like your lemon, your kiwi, your watermelon. They're not really sweet, but you also can have pears, apples. What's the spelling? Oh, chrysanthemum. Okay, you want me to spell it for you? Yeah, that. You get the chrysanthemum along with mint, and that's your cooling agent. It's also good for women who may be premenopausal to help cool you down, along with an adaptogen. Remember, we talked about adaptogens last week. So you have that. But working with the cycles of the earth is, you're welcome, is going to make you so much better in your health. Stay away from coffee, especially those people who are premenopausal too. You don't want anything that's going to exacerbate the nervous system. Okay, you don't want anything that's going to take you out of whack. All right, so we talked about that. We got in the cooling mechanism. Don't forget, the green tea also cools your system down too. So you can get some green tea to help relax the body, cool you down, and also helps detoxify the liver and the gallbladder. So that's really key component as well. All right, so I went over a lot of stuff today. Does anybody have any questions about everything that I went over? I went over a lot of different things. All week, we're going to talk about reversing the aging process. Later on in the week, we're going to talk about photobiomodulation. Before photobiomodulation, we're going to talk about cupping, the TENS unit, acupuncture, and how that can benefit you. The next time we talk, of course, we're going to talk about, we talked about the 4 types of stretching. We're also going to go into chiropractor. If you don't go to a chiropractor, that's going to be key. And I'm going to couple in the chiropractor information along with the foods you need to start eating to reverse the aging process. Like I tell you, people, you should have gray hair. No, you should not. That means it's pulling from area of your body. It's pulling from this area of your body to help fulfill minerals that's in your body that you're not receiving. And that's why people gray. All right. And we don't want, I have it visually, so let me slow down so I can get it out to you all. Chromosomes. If anybody's familiar with the cap of the chromosomes, are your telomeres. The cap of the chromosomes are your telomeres. That is what ages. As we get older, what happens is the telomeres, which are the caps of our chromosomes, start to deteriorate, or the caps start to come off, and that's how we end up aging. But there's a way to heal that. There is a way that those caps of the chromosomes don't have to come off. And that's going to go into what we're going to talk about with the food, but also with the photobiomodulation, with the internal light of the body actually working with this mechanism in order to help people with any type of issues, as well as reversing the aging process and things that we do in neuropathy, naturopathic medicine, and homeopathy. It's gym time for you, but I'll go back and watch the live. Yes. Fine. I've been on for almost an hour now. My lawn man is here, so he's pretty loud. I'm going to post this. Again, you all, I suggest you go onto the website, get your Miss Fitness Diva 14-day detox tea. You can also do this during the summer solstice, 24 hours, or you can do a 72-hour fast with those foods that I gave you. If you want to amp it up, you're going to do mono meals. Make sure you do your active, dynamic, passive, and PNF stretching if you can. Eating those foods in rhythm. They're the caps of the chromosomes, telomeres, Telomeres, telomeres. Look up telomeres. Is ways that you can reverse the aging process. So we're going to talk about that more this week. Again, I have pinned Ask Diva to 81010. You can text Ask Diva to 81010. I'm going to be giving out more tips to those participants that's on my list. I have 130 some people that's already on the list, which is really, really awesome. I want you to join and be a part of it too, so you can know all the freebies and free information I give away. This week, I'm going to be a resource for you all, dumping out all the information I have here, spilling it out to you so you can take it and utilize these herbs in your life. Utilize these tools, these stretches, these moves to reverse the aging process. I'll be 42 in a couple weeks, and I don't have aches and pains. I have a lot of energy. I don't wake up out of bed with, oh, my back hurt, or oh, my knees hurt. Like, I don't have none of that shit. So you don't either. I don't deal with my life like that. My body is different. So you don't have to be that person who's in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I don't care if you're 85, 90. Like I said, I have Tai Chi participants. Miss Daisy is 95 years old. She just turned 95 last week. She stopped using her cane. I gave them dynamic and passive stretching that they need to do, as well as active stretching we do, and release all of that. Okay, so you just have to know what to do so you can do it and live a life. All right. So thank you all so much for joining. Check out MissFitnessDiva.com. Ladies, go ahead and get snatched. Go online, get your waist trainer so you can get snatched, get your sweat enhancer, Black-owned businesses, females, J Body Cafe. Please check out Jay's Body Cafe. She's been working with me for over a year to create a sweat enhancer with all natural products. And it's right on point, and it smells so good. It's only $26 on the website. Also, get you a waist wrap. For the ladies who have that low sitting belly, I had a lady who said, she said, baby, I got two stomachs. I got a low belly and an upper belly. The waist wrap is going to be for you. For the other ladies who don't have like the two bellies, but you got a little chubby here, get you a waist trainer, tuck it in, get in the weight trainer, get in the cardio. Join my group. I have over 30-something ladies on Facebook, and we help motivate each other. We wake up every day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5:30 a.m., and we do our workouts together. You get a calendar of workouts. You get a calendar. You get a meal plan guide, which you know what to eat. You also are being tracked on MyFitnessPal, and we have our community every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We go live within a group to talk about our triumphs, to talk about different things that we've incorporated to help us with our weight loss, and we stay as a close, connected group. So it's really cool. If you want to join the Snatch Challenge, just definitely text Ask Diva to 81010 so you can be part of our community. So I hope something that I shared today has helped somebody and help somebody to help somebody to help somebody to help somebody to help somebody. The gift that keep on giving. And I'll be on periodically throughout the week to keep sharing. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure you have a friend to tell a friend, to have another friend to tell a friend, to tell a family member to tell a friend, to follow me on Instagram. Go to the website, purchase the ebooks, get snatched, and I'll talk to you soon the rest of the week. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.